tomorrow.
There was a point in time in your life where all of this didn't seem like it. And that was because you had to keep going into prison, serving an 18-year sentence, only served 5. But there was a point in time in your life where all of this would just have been a dream. How does it feel to be able to sit here and reflect back on how much you've overcome and the odds that you've overcome?
Really, it never gets old to me. It might get old to people that hear me talk about what you just mentioned, but it'll never get old to me because it is part of that foundation that I stand on. It would have just been a dream, but even the dream probably wouldn't have been talked about, because how can you dream something that you can't even imagine what would happen in the state of mind and the state of behavior that I was involved or in. But what you said is so important, because even though that didn't happen, thank God, just imagine how many great talent of anything, not just sports, that didn't get the opportunity or didn't want the opportunity that I grabbed the bull by the horns and took advantage of. I believe it was a Michael Jordan out there before Michael Jordan. I believe it was a Bernard Hopkins out there before Bernard Hopkins. He was in East LA, he was in Compton, he was in Watts or whatever, and got shot, got killed because he was a blood. He had green, he had red, he had whatever. I believe there was a lot of us before I became blossomed to be who I am, and somehow they didn't make it. Either they didn't want to, wrong place at the wrong time, just wasn't good enough, or didn't think they was good enough, didn't push forward. It only takes that little bit of dream killers, or situations, or someone talk you out of it. I was told by my parole man to stay out of trouble and don't go to Joe Frazier's. You heard me say it at the podium. Never forget that. How do you tell a guy that's 25 years old, they got 9 years to walk off, and you're at a halfway house and you got to report at a window and sign your name that you're in on time and go up to your room to the next morning, and you see your counselor because you put a slip in that weekend and you said, Mr. Lane, you know, I was boxing and picked it back up and graded for it. I like to go up Joe Frazier's, which is 10 blocks up Broad Street near Temple, and do some boxing about 4 to 7, and I get in about a half hour later than I'm supposed to. Is it okay? You can watch us here from there, send somebody there, you know, random. Like random drug tests. You're 25 years old and you want to be a boxer with $1,500 restitution, like $15 million when you broke and in the ghetto and you come home with parole. You can't just pay that with one job check. Now, I don't think he was being malice or mean or a dream killer. But if I would have took his advice, strong story, if I would have just took his advice, it wouldn't been mean to me, set me down. Just say, I said, well, you know, 25 is kind of old to turn pro. In the boxing world, it come from the amateurs, 18, 17, 19. Let me just go to work and be an average citizen, big stomach, 9 to 5. If I'm lucky, I make about $20,000 a year because of my education, GED. It's bigger than boxing, man. My life, my story, and what I represent is bigger than boxing. And very few times I will use the word bigger than boxing. I'll say bigger than the belt, but it's bigger than boxing with me, with this. I became champion when I gave him 9 years of parole without a parking ticket and became who I am. I got my first belt when I got my slip saying my parole is over. Because I couldn't stay out of trouble for 2 days, let alone 9 years. You think I'm afraid of power and he can punch? You talking and listening to a fox. And I never knew no dumb fox. Foxes are smart. They know where to be, when to be, and where to be. And they barely become road killers or road killed. Squirrels do, other animals do, but you very often see a fox laying down, laid out because he got ran over by a tractor trailer or a car. That's why he's a fox.
Did you ever speak to the guy that
What
told you
guy?
that? That told you stay out of trouble?
No.
No?
But I'm glad I ain't listened to him.
Yeah.
That's the key. I'm glad I ain't listened to him. He was giving me good advice.
Gotta wrap it up. Thank you.
Why not in Philadelphia for your last time out?
Why not in Philadelphia?
Yeah. A lot of people
Why
are
not in
wondering.
LA?
That. Well, you're Philly roots and you're a Philly fighter. A lot of people are wondering.
The last one in Philadelphia. LA, the Forum, no more Spectrum in Philadelphia. If my fans have a TV, and I can imagine in this world of media and social media or internet, can watch me, can see me, even when I'm done, December 17th, I couldn't see a better place at a better time in a better venue than the Forum. And let me tell you, they seem to want it more here, based on business. A lot of things Philly, which I love, can't afford and can't do. No matter if I'm Bernard Hopkins or not. People are starving, people are poor, people are finding their way. They're in confusion because they don't see anything in the next 4 years. Whoever become president, they're going to help them and watch our ass tax people to pay for me to do my last fight. The fans would say fight anywhere and they'll come. But I think this is the perfect time in a perfect place because of the history of the Forum, because of the surroundings of how it's going to be done. Couldn't be a better place. I really mean that. Because to do it in Philadelphia, which is a growing big city like most cities are, to change over the last 10 years, right after the recession, the build up for the neighborhoods becoming hood, now they're yuppie neighborhoods. We call them yuppie neighborhoods.
Gentrified?
Yes, definitely. This is the perfect place.
All right, we're done here, guys. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
And now you're America's darling in terms of boxing. Speak to that guy that's doing 5 years, doing life, that 17-year-old
If I was to fill out my resume,
You were applying for a job right now.
If I was applying for a job and I'll say, okay, what'd you say, Muslim,
inmate, rules of your first fight.
lost my, hold up, that's a nice one, I'm gonna use that. If I was filling out an application and with my resume, Muslim, lost my first fight, inmate,
Stepped on a Puerto Rican flag.
stepped on the Puerto Rican flag.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
Seriously, like, talk to that brown brother.
Check a photo before you leave.
We gotta go. Sorry, guys. Come on. Sure, can you go this way?
And about creating his own opportunity.
If I'm here, you just keep talking.
Yeah, creating his own
I would
opportunity.
say to him, don't let no one be a dream killer. Don't let no one tell you what you can't do. They're going to tell you, but don't listen to them and believe them.
Will you be training in Philadelphia or in Los Angeles?
I'll be training in Philadelphia and Miami.
Bernard, did you want this final fight to be in Philadelphia, and why didn't you get to do that?
No, if I wanted this, it's too late. It's here in LA.
But
to me, wherever I fight is my home.
All right, thank you,
I
guys.
got 3 decades and it doesn't matter. It's like I'm not hyped one way or another where I fight because the bell on the ring, 3 minutes around, and you got to fight.
Bernard, come on, let's go.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Right here for the
Thank you.
Right for the
Got it? Right there. Back right. You got it.
How about that overhand right? That's been your signature punch.
Yeah.
Tell how do you throw that overhand right, and why is it?